Hi guys, it's Jen with creativelyhomemade.com. I am taking a bit of a break from the Christmas crafting today. My aunt's birthday is coming up and I wanted to make her a pretty birthday card, so I thought I would share with you guys how to make it. So this is a swing card. Instead of the normal card that opens like this one pulls open to the side and the little center swings around and has your greeting on it. Super fun and way different than most cards that are sent out. So I thought that I would make one of these for her, and I thought I would show you guys how to make it. Now I'm using the Happy Birthday Gorgeous stamp set, which is super fun. I love all the little floral stamps on it, and there's also some birthday balloons. But what I really love about this stamp set is all the different birthday sentiments. So many stamps to choose from. There are 32 stamps in this set, so that is a great value. So let's get started and I'll show you how easy it is to make this fun swing card. Okay, we want to start by cutting our paper. This is a piece of Blushing Bride cardstock that has been cut to 7.5 inches by 4.25 inches. And then I have some of the Fresh Florals Designer Series paper cut. This piece is 3 3/8 inches by 4 inches. This piece is 2 5/8 by 4 inches. And this little piece is 1 inch by 4 inches. And this is just a contrasting strip, so since this piece is mainly the Berry Burst color, I'm using the one that is mainly white. Now this Fresh Florals paper is really pretty. It's the 2017-2019 in colors. It's got a bunch of fun different designs. It's all double-sided and it's got all 5 colors. So this is a fun paper pack for making pretty floral cards. It has been well used. But you can use any paper that you like, but I just really like the Fresh Florals with the Happy Birthday Gorgeous set. So you can set aside the Designer Series paper for right now. Put your piece of Blushing Bride cardstock with the long edge at the top of your scoring board, and you're going to score it at 2 7/8 inches, and you're going to score it at 3 7/8 inches. And that's all we need the scoring board for, so you can set that aside. Okay, so now we need to prepare our card base for die cutting, and we're going to adhere these little rectangles of Designer Series paper down. But before you do that, you want to pull out your Layering Ovals die set, pull out the largest regular oval, and we are going to place it with the halfway mark of the oval along that first score line, the one at 2 7/8 inches. And you just want to kind of see how that falls on your Designer Series paper. We are going to add adhesive to this area, but you want to leave this one without adhesive. That way when this cuts, you'll be able to pull that away because we don't want to add extra bulk to our card. So you need to do like around in a U shape around that die. So flip it over, and I'm just using Tombow liquid adhesive for this. Just like so. So I'm leaving the bulk of this space right here with no adhesive on it. And then flip that over. And line it almost up to the score line, but leave maybe 1/8 of an inch next to the score line. And then press that down securely. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So that's going to be about like that with the halfway mark on that first score line. So this side you can add more adhesive because you can add maybe, 3/4 of the way across this rectangle, and then more at the top and bottom. Now if you don't want to go to the mess of trying to estimate where to put adhesive, you can also stick your paper down with washi tape. So you would be running it through your die cut machine with no adhesive on the back, and just maybe like add a thin little strip of washi tape here and along the sides to hold it in place while you're die cutting, and then you could glue it down after you've cut out the oval shapes. Okay, so now we have our pattern paper adhered to it. Like I said, you want to line up the center of the oval over that first score line, so that looks good. And then just pull out a couple of Post-it notes, and we're going to use that to stick the die in place. Now the magnetic platform does work to help hold it in place, but I just like this extra step because we're going to be doing a little bit different sort of die cutting today with the plate not running all the way across, so you definitely want to make sure that that doesn't shift, because this is how we want that die to cut. So I'm going to go get my die cut machine and put it here under the camera, and I will show you how to line up the plates so that it does not cut out this center section. And leaving that center section intact is what's going to make the card be able to swing. Okay, so I have my precision plate here on the platform. I find that works best because it's always flat. My plates are warped a little bit, and so it works better if you have a completely flat surface. Now, I don't think I mentioned before, but I am using the largest regular oval from the Layering Ovals die set. This is a really nice set to have. It has scalloped ovals and regular ovals, and we're going to be using both. But for this part, we're just using the largest regular oval. Okay, so you want to go ahead and put this plate in, and you want to push it across until it is lined up with that very first score line. The score line we made at 2 7/8 inches. Your die cut machine is only going to cut where there is a plate on top, where you have that sandwich and it's creating enough pressure for it to cut. And so when you run it through with only half the plate on there on the top, anything that's not underneath the plate is not going to cut. So this is going to enable us to be able to leave that center section uncut just by how we're lining up the plates. So go ahead and start running that through. Okay. And now I'm going to turn that plate around, and we're going to cut the other side. So we're going to line that plate up with the second score line. Just like that. Push it back through your machine and run it through. Now, when you pull this piece out and take the Post-it note and die off, you will notice that we have this little section cut out and this little section cut out, and this will enable that oval to swing back and forth. Okay, now while we have our die cut machine still out, we have some more ovals to cut out, and you're going to need a little piece of champagne foil paper and Whisper white cardstock. So on the champagne paper, the foil paper, we're going to use the largest scalloped oval. And then for the Whisper white cardstock, we're going to use the third largest straight oval. So this is 1, 2, and 3. And you can run those both through at the same time just to save yourself some time. And then you're going to need to repeat that. So you need 2 Whisper white ovals, and you need 2 scalloped ovals cut from the champagne paper. And that is all you need your die cut machine for, so you can put that away. Okay, so now we're ready to do some stamping. I already have my stamps all on the blocks. For this particular card, we're using It's Your Day, we're using the Happy Birthday, we're using these 2 flower stamps, which are meant to work together and layer to color it in. And we're using this little flower stamp as well. So I've pulled out some of my ink. I have Berry Burst, Garden Green, and Blushing Bride. And I've also pulled out my black ink. So let's get started. I'm going to do the oval that's going to be on the flip side first. So ink up your Happy Birthday stamp in black, and you want to stamp that at the very top of the oval in the center. And then we're going to use this little flower right here to stamp on the sides of the happy birthday. So I'm going to stamp that in Berry Burst. So I'm just going to stamp it to the side there, and that's going to be on the inside, so we can set that one aside. And then I'm pulling out my other oval. This one is going to say It's Your Day. So ink the It's Your Day stamp up with black. And stamp it. Whoops, that looks like that needs some more ink on there. That's the nice thing about photopolymer. You can kind of look at them and see if you've missed any areas that need more ink. There we go. So stamp that at the bottom center of your other oval. Just like that. And then we're going to stamp our two flowers. I find it easiest to start with the more detailed stamp. And if you'll notice right there, there's a little tab that helps you line things up. So you want to make sure that's oriented the same way on both your outline stamp and your stamp that colors it in. So for this particular time, I'm going to have that stamping up. I'm sorry, the tab there lining up. So I'm just orienting that stamp right above the It's Your Day, above the word day. And then I'm going to pull out my Blushing Bride ink to color that image in. So I'm inking up the outline, or the one that is the full image, lining that up with that little arrow tab pointing upward, and then it colors the image in for you. And then the last thing that we need to do on this one is to ink up the leaves in Garden Green. And I kind of orient those so they're going across that oval. Just like that. So that's all the stamping we have to do, and now we're ready to assemble our card. I pulled out all the pieces we need, and we're ready to put this together. I've pulled out my Fast Fuse adhesive. It's a little bit stronger adhesive than regular tape runner, so it works pretty well, especially when you have moving pieces on a card. But of course you can use whatever adhesive you like. So the first thing you want to do is fold along this score line, and you want to fold that piece backwards. Now you don't want to fold this center oval area, you want that to remain flat. So then flip it over and fold along the second score line so that it goes forward. So your folded card is going to look like this, and when you open it, it's going to look like this. So let's start with that back oval. This is going to be on the back side of the card. Start by putting your champagne foil scalloped oval right in the center of this oval cutout. I'm just adding adhesive to the back there and putting it in place. You want to make sure it doesn't go over the boundary of that oval cutout. And then since this is going to be the oval that shows up on the front, you want the rose with the It's Your Day. So add adhesive to the back of that. And center it in your scalloped oval. Just like so. Then flip it over, and we're going to add that champagne foil scalloped oval to the center on that side. My Fast Fuse is not behaving here. There we go. And get that one on the inside of the oval. And then add your happy birthday sentiment. Now this happy birthday oval, I've left a little space at the bottom so you could sign your name or whatever, but if you would prefer, you could always write on the back of the card. and then you could fill up this entire oval with stamping. So just center that happy birthday oval, just like that. And then we're going to add this little strip of contrasting pattern paper right there at the edge. Lining it up. So here is the finished card. I just love how that champagne foil paper catches the light. I think this is so pretty, and it would be a great card for anybody who likes feminine things, pretty florals. And I just really love how this card is interactive. So much fun. Now, when you know how to make this type of swinging card, you can use this technique, you know, with any type of designer series paper and with any stamp set to make cards for different occasions. And you can even change up the shape you use to make your swinging die cut here. So I've made some additional cards and I thought I would show you. This card, I used the same oval center, but I oriented it up and down. And then the other thing I did was I added a little bit of the lace trim behind the strip of designer series paper, and I ruffled that, so I thought that gave it kind of a pretty look to it. Now my next card, I used the Lemon Lime Twist from that same designer series paper pack, and I used a square cutout in the center, which gives it a different look. And then I added a strip of mini sequin trim to it to add some more glitz. So I really like how this one turned out. Now for this one, I used different designer series paper in the background. This is from the Birthday Memories designer series paper. And I used the balloon die, or the balloon stamps from this stamp set, so I thought it was fun to use birthday paper with it. And then I added a little ribbon bow to the side. And then the last card that I made, I changed things up a bit by adding some extra embellishments. I used rhinestone centers on the flowers. Instead of the strip of designer series paper along the side here, I cut a doily in fourth, and I used two of the corners here in the corner. And then I stamped two more of the little roses, cut those out, and popped them up on Stampin' Dimensionals, and I really like how this card turned out. So pretty. If you would like written instructions to make these swing cards, I have a blog post up that you can print, and that's over on my blog, and the link is down in the description box below. If you would like to make these cards and need the Happy Birthday Gorgeous stamp set or the Layering Ovals die set, I have links to those down in the description box below. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so any purchase you make through my links goes to help support my family, so thank you. And as a reminder, each month I offer a free gift to anyone who places a $50 or more order using this month's host code. So be sure to check that out if you're interested in placing an order. If you like this card tutorial, be sure to give it a thumbs up. That provides feedback for me and lets me know what types of projects you'd like to see in the future. And if you would like to see more crafts like this one, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm always sharing new project ideas. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy crafting!